Yo, what's good with you? Back in black with another Enlisted video. If you guys are new to the channel and you love shooting games just like me, make sure you aim for that like button and shoot that subscribe button as well. It'll help you find better teammates and improve your skill-based matchmaking. At least I hope so. In this video, we're going to be doing a review for the Chinese New Year event squad, or more precisely, the Sichuan Thompson squad. And to my surprise, this is a gun that existed in real life. I did a little bit of scouring on the Enlisted forums and I found this post dating back to 2024 where this guy found a post, and essentially it's a Thompson that was found in China in 1944, and it seems to be modified with an M1 carbine stock. Why the I guess the cocking bolt looks like that, I'm not 100% sure, but neither here nor there. It is a really good gun. Getting into the stats, we're getting a maximum damage of 8.2, and out to 100 meters that'll drop down to 5.5. So for the most part, you should be expecting like a 2 to 3 hit kill, but keep in mind this is a submachine gun, so you still gotta adhere to that really strict rule of aiming for the upper chest and the head, lest you get those damage dividers and the time to kill will go up or the bullets to kill will go higher. Getting into the muzzle velocity, that is really bad as usual for a Thompson, coming in at 265 meters per second. The rate of fire, on the other hand, is great at 830, which is a pretty good slot for BR3 if I do say so myself. Not to mention that the reload time is coming in at a stellar 2.5 seconds. So I mean, I guess in practicality it doesn't feel really fast, but something that you can do to make it feel that way is of course to do a partial reload to cut that down even lower. Getting into the shot deviation, we're getting a really solid 25, and it doesn't really get much better than that when it comes to submachine guns. Usually we're seeing stuff in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Speaking of 70s, we're also getting a really good recoil control percentage, coming in at 70%, and as you can see, that is easily translated into the recoil. You really don't even have to do any controlling, which is ironic again because the vertical recoil is coming in at 17 while the horizontal recoil is coming in at 12. So this is essentially a laser beam. The Achilles heel is more than likely going to be in the iron sights, which is probably the thing that's going to make the weapon as hard as it is to use. Not that it is really hard to use, but any difficulty you do have is more than likely going to come from the obstructive nature of the iron sight in general. Last couple of important things I wanted to note about the stats of the weapon in particular is that we are indeed getting a 30 round magazine, which I gotta admit, for the faction of Russia and BR3 is very much on the lower side. And not only that, when you consider the 830 rounds per minute fire rate, that can be very detrimental as well, as you can fly through that at an extremely quick rate. So again, something very important to note. Something on the lighter side is that we are getting a semi-auto mode as well, so I wanted to point that out because you can actually take pretty good advantage of that for those medium and long range targets to squeeze out some extra kills where otherwise you wouldn't be able to, and that's mostly because of the laser like recoil and the pretty good damage. So again, something you want to try and take advantage of there. Something else I wanted to do is I wanted to flash my perk selection on the screen and discuss a couple of my I guess my picks and the reasons why I did so. So in the vitality section, normally I wouldn't recommend picking the perk where you can reduce how much your head is shaking when it comes to like artillery and explosions in general. But something again that I noted earlier is that the iron sights on this gun are very obtrusive and make it very hard to aim, even sometimes at close range. So when you couple in like concussive effects, that just makes it even worse. So if I can do anything to minimize that, which happens very often as you move up to BRs, especially when you start getting into BR3, then that can make it a little bit easier to use the weapon and get some longer kill streaks in there. Another thing that I wanted to note is that that small magazine does rear its ugly head again. So I was going to recommend it anyways, but the reloading speed perk in the combat section does has become a lot more essential with that smaller magazine, and it is another reason that I highly recommend equipping all your people in this squad with the large ammo bag. Unless it's the engineer or maybe the anti-tank guy, you can give those guys large book bags so they can get extra med kits and stuff like that. But yeah, just explaining some of my reasoning on stuff like that. As far as playstyle is concerned, I find that the optimal range to operate with this gun in is going to be in that 7 to 15 meter range. And to explain myself a little bit more, I find that you can dip in and out of really close range, but once you get below that 5 meter point, you start to suffer from the small magazine, if that makes any sense, as you will catch yourself reloading very often. And if you don't run out of ammo in the magazine, you'll probably run out of ammo generally speaking. So it always pays a little bit of dividends to hang back just a little bit to where you can fall back to your engineer once your large ammo bag runs out of ammo, because even with that you will probably run out of ammo. As far as long range is concerned, that's basically where the bullet velocity in the range of the 200s will start to kick your ass. And even if you try to take advantage of the semi-auto mode or shooting in bursts like I said earlier, it's just, again, the smaller magazine will start to be a detriment to you even more, and you'll just be wasting or running through more ammo than you could if you were operating in the optimal ranges like I said earlier. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. And you will also notice from the gameplay that I am hanging on head glitches a lot as well, because it gives me a little bit more time to line up my sights, as again the iron sights don't necessarily do you that many favors in that regard. So just something that I wanted to point out or note in my experience. So yeah, man, for my closing thoughts, it's a really good gun. I am a big fan of anything Thompson. It's my favorite gun in World War II, so even getting variants of that, always makes me happy, especially if it's going to be for a alternate faction that's not USA or Great Britain, for lack of a better word. So you love to see it. I should note though that you just gotta hope and pray that you get put into an actual BR3 match, because if you get up tiered into a BR4, the enjoyment of the gun does go down maybe like 15 to 25%. And then I guess ironically, or I guess paradoxically, if you get put into a BR2 match, then the enjoyment of using the gun can go up 15 to 25%. So I mean, I guess just 6-7 give or take, it is what it is kind of thing. But if I had to issue a rating 1 to 10, I am feeling an above average 7.4. Anything that I am taking off is mostly because of the smaller magazine at the BR that is at, and because the iron sights are kind of hard to use and just big for no reason, in my humble opinion. I don't know why they put that on there, if that's like a modification, but I guess maybe to make it easier to reload, I don't know. But neither here nor there. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the gun down there in the comment section. If you have used it or got it yourself yet, what would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10? How do you play with it? Do you have any different setups with your perks or play styles in general? Let me know how you feel down there in the comment section. And while you're down there, don't forget to aim for that like button, shoot that subscribe button as well. Hope you find better teammates and improve your skill-based matchmaking. And yeah, if they're going to keep adding these New Year Chinese squads to the game, hopefully we are getting a Chinese faction in the future. Just gotta hope and pray for that one. But yeah, man, other than that, appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. Black Guy out.